Hey guys, I thought I'd come on here and let's put us together a pumpkin roll for the holidays are coming up, and I make them every year. Excuse me. And I hadn't never got an opportunity to show you all how I do them. And here's what you're going to need first. You're going to need a bowl to get your dry ingredients in. And you're going to need measuring spoons. You're going to need your baking pans, and this recipe calls for a 10 by 15. But I'll thin that cake out onto that big, or I'll add a little more pumpkin and a little bit, maybe a couple of tablespoons more flour. I'll make it stretch out there to fit what I need it to do. And then you're going to need a half a teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda. You're going to need 3/4 cups of flour. Let me see my flour. It's all-purpose flour. And I make this out of self-rising flour a lot. And I've got some here, and I've got some here, and I'll make it out, the rest of them out of that, because it's already pre-mixed. Anyway, you're going to need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You're going to need a half teaspoon of, where it's at, ground cinnamon, a half teaspoon of ground cloves. And if you don't have them, don't want to fool with them and all that, you can use a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. It'll be fine. It tastes real good. And you're going to need wherever they're at, you're going to need 3 large eggs and 2/3 cup of canned pumpkin and 1 cup of regular granulated sugar and a cup of walnuts or pecans, whatever you want like that, and they are optional. I don't put them in mine. And then for your that's all for your dry ingredients. You know, with the pumpkin's not dry, but you know what I mean. And then for your filling, you're going to need a cup of sifted powdered sugar. And I've done sifted mine. It's already done. And you're going to need 6 tablespoons of butter or margarine. I always just use Blue Bonnet margarine. And 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. This stuff all needs to be at room temperature now. And a teaspoon of vanilla. And it's going to bake at 375 degrees until you touch it in the middle and it springs back, or a toothpick inserted comes out clean. I always just touch it. And if it don't, you know, your fingers sink in and all that, then it bakes real fast. Like 12, 13 minutes, it's usually done. I've already got my 3/4 cup flour in here. Before I thought to turn on the camera, I done had that done. And I've also already got the half teaspoon of baking soda, the half teaspoon of baking powder. I've got the half teaspoon of ground cloves and the half teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I've already got all that in it. So I can set this to the side, and I'm going to mix up let me get my, whoa, I guess I better take the bottle with it, hadn't I? It's made to where you can, let me move some of this stuff and I'll show you. And I use some spray oil. Let me show you. Get all that out of my way. I've done used it. This bowl here, how handy. You can, like if you can set it every how you need it to do what you need to do. Like beating eggs or something for meringue. And it's got the measurements in it. It's real handy. I like it. It's got the pour spout. Alright. Now, you're also going to need some clean dish towels. And that's what you'll put your powdered sugar on to dump your cake out on, and so you can roll it up. Alright, let's get our wet ingredients together. Get our 2/3 cup pumpkin. I done got it open here. I ain't got it open enough, but I got it. Let me finish opening that before I get my finger cut. I don't know why I didn't open it all the way, but I didn't. Alright. Let's see if I got a 2/3 cup measuring cup. No, I got a 1/3 though. That'll work. Let me find something different with. Alright. This pumpkin's easy to measure because you can just tap it. When you tap it, it taps on down real easy. A lot easier if it'd been pretty much room temperature, but I had started to make these and got distracted with something else I needed to do, and I had went ahead and put it all in the fridge. But now it's time to do it, and that's close enough. I mean, now let's get that in there. And I need 2/3 cup of this. A lot of people's intimidated by a pumpkin roll, a jelly roll, you know, different things like that. They're easy to make. They're easy peasy. And once you get started, like these freeze really, really well. So you can make them a long time in advance and roll them in saran wrap and then roll them in another layer of aluminum foil. They'll last a long time. And once they freeze, you can get them out and put them in one of them vacuum sealers, and well, I don't know how long it'd last then, to be honest with you. It'd probably last a long, long time. Alright, let me set this pumpkin over here just out of my way for now. And get my 3 eggs in there. I got a mess here, don't I? Look, them eggs ain't them pretty. Them's from my daughter. She's got her own chickens. And I'm not afraid of putting a bad egg in there. And she's got all colors. White. That pretty green. She's got blue. Pretty brown eggs. See the varying shades of brown? Different hens laying different eggs. See? So let's put this brown one in there. And that gives her 3 large eggs. Alright, that got them in there. And get the eggs socked back in the fridge real fast. I don't like for them to set out much. Alright, now let's get this stirred up. Alright, we got our wet ingredients put together, and that's the eggs and the pumpkin. You want to kind of get it light and fluffy, you know, beat it a minute. And that handheld mixer I've got throws stuff everywhere, and then I've got my big mixer that Dora gave me, and this is all going to move along so quickly. I said, well, I'll just do it by hand. And sometimes I like to do it by hand anyway. Alright then. Now, I don't have my regular sugar in here, so I need to do that. And that is, I think it's 1 cup. Yeah, 1 cup of regular sugar. Let's get into that. Half cup. That's not not a whole half, so. If it had been a little bit more, though, I wouldn't have worried about it, but it's quite shy. So, let's get that in there. There we go. Got our sugar in there. Now, let's see what we got. We've got our flour. That's 3/4 cup flour. We've got a 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We've got 3 large eggs, 1 cup sugar, 2/3 cup pumpkin, and that's all of these ingredients. Then the fillings next. Now what you want to do is beat this a little bit. Get it kind of happy, fluffed up some. Then we're gonna get it mixed up in our dry ingredients. I could have probably stirred up that sugar first, but it don't matter. It'll stir. I'm gonna make more than one of these. I'm gonna make till I run out of pumpkin is what I'm gonna do. That's my plan. Alright, we're done with that. Now let's get this stirred up, mixed up. We can get it on the bacon while we get that filling mixed up. And see, it mixes up easy. Well, it smells good already. That's good enough. Might have a little bit of lump in it, but it'll bake out. Now, let's, about everybody uses, saran wrap, or not saran wrap, but, butcher's paper in their pans. I don't. I just spray it down and it works just fine. I've got my oven preheating already, and it's on 375, so it's already at the temperature it needs to be. And I'm going to put, well, I'll just spray it right here. You don't have to go crazy with it, but you want to spray it where you know it ain't going to stick, because now, but they ain't getting, you probably couldn't do much with it if it's stuck. Don't want to preheat that pan. Just get your mixture on there. Now, whenever you use the self-rising flour, that eliminates the baking powder, baking soda, the salt. That eliminates all that. Then you just need to add your eggs, your pumpkin, your cloves, cinnamon, the stuff that you need to add. See, it's coming down. And it's sliding down from the top because it's, but then now it'll do better. Let me get, I've got an offset spatula here. Let's try to smooth her out there. Get it going. Right, all the way to the edge. You want it as your, I'm trying to say your batter as even as you can get it. I put too much spray oil on there, but it won't hurt it. It won't matter. Because you don't want it like real thick in the middle and thin, too thin on the side or something. Which it don't really matter if it's too thin on the side, but I don't want no real thick spots because the thick spots takes longer to bake, and then the thin spot might burn waiting on the thick spot to get done. So that's the reason you don't want that. But as far as the cake rolling up, that it'll still roll. That won't matter. All right. Now, shake it a little. Give it a bang. And that will knock out the bubbles, and that will also even it out better, about better than anything you could do, I guess. All right. There it is. I'm going to sock it in the oven. It won't take it long. And now let's, oh, I've got a bowl right here already. Well, yeah, let's clean some of this out of the way. Let's use this bowl that well, what have I done with my, there it is. I tell you what, guys. I'm real scattered today. Now, let's get 1 stick of butter and 1 cream cheese and get that put in there together. Oh no, we don't want a whole stick. If I told y'all a whole stick, I was wrong. You want 6 tablespoons is what you want. And this is 8 tablespoons, and I've never seen one like that, but the packager packaged it off wrong. But you can kind of figure what 2 tablespoons is. I mean, you know it. Little dab extra is not gonna matter at all. So I'm just gonna cut off what looks like 2 tablespoons to me. Well, you know what? If I cut it from this end, there is 2 tablespoons. Right there and right there. So, let's just do that then. And then we got whooped. And there is the piece we want. That's our 6 tablespoons. And we want all of this. It's come to room temperature a lot better than the butter has for some unknown reason. But let me break into it here. Now, I'm going to let you off here so you don't have to work with me going through this. What I'm doing is I'm going to open my cream cheese and get it in there. Done got my butter in there, and I'm going to put me 1 cup of sifted powdered sugar. Well, while I'm yakking, I've whooped it, ain't I? So I'll just show you. Oh, my hands was clean. I had washed them. And then I come over and set my stuff up. Well, I dug it out of, got it over here. Alright. That takes care of that. Let's drop that in that bowl right there. Wipe our hands on our apron. Get us a cup of this fine powdered sugar right here that we sifted ourselves to death of working on. I've got a regular sifter, but I just didn't want to fool with it. I just sifted it through that. Didn't worry about it. Alright, that's a 1/2 cup. That's a 1/2 cup. Got all them over there. Get sugar out of the way, and we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Well, and I just measure right in this lid. I always have. That's how my folks did it, and that's how I do it. I mean, if I've got the measuring spoon right in my hand, I might use it, but other than that, I just use the lid. Alright, now let's try to get this stirred up. Right there. Good old tater masher. I may have to dump this out in a plastic bowl and run it through the microwave just for a few seconds. Because that butter did not. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Alright, I'm going to get off here and dump it in another bowl and run it through the microwave on maybe 10-second intervals till I get it where it needs to be. Because now it'll have time to cool off, because after my cake comes out of the oven, it has to be rolled and cooled anyway. But I want to come back and show you how you get your towel laid out and all that. So I'm going to put this in another bowl and thaw that butter out a little bit more. Thank you. I put it in there for 20 minutes, and then I put it in there for 20 seconds. And then I put it in there for 10 more seconds and it's perfect. It'd be a little bit much to try to roll it up right now, so, but it'll cool back off and be just right. But that made it perfect to mix up. There's the bowl I socked it in the microwave in. And so this is ready to roll. Now let's get it over here out of the way. And I'm going to get my towel ready because my cake probably be coming out of there pretty quick. Now let's see what I do on my towel. Oh, here we go. I think this one is plenty big enough for that small pan. So let's see. Get it down there. I probably should have. Just because the fold was going in the wrong direction for me. Now let's see. I never thought about. Yeah, let's see if we can get this back out of here. If I've got it. No, that's okay, I can still use it. Throw it down there with all that stuff, but it didn't really get nothing on it. And this is how I had sifted all that sugar. It was just like this right here. Even though I've got a sifter. If you recall, I had a sweet little new friend send me that little bitty sifter. I'd never seen that like it. And I ought to be using it, but I don't know, I just grabbed this because it's right there under my nose. And now you do not want to be stingy with this powdered sugar on this. I mean, don't just put a whole bag on it or nothing, but don't be stingy with it. Because you don't want your cake to stick to this, not be able to get it off. Which, I mean, you could get it out, but less wear and tear on your cake better. And then when it comes out there, we're going to try our best to dump it on there without any issues. I'm getting to the edges real good, even though I didn't measure this towel, but I think it'd be fine. I don't think that cake's going to go all the way to the edges. They're a pretty good little lump of sugar, but that don't hurt nothing either. Alright, honey, I've got her sugared up good. Ain't that pretty? Looks like snow. And now, let me check our cake. It don't take long. Nope, it didn't spring back. So I'm not going to make you wait through it. It's probably got another 2-3 minutes. And then I'll bring you back and we'll see then. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you. Guys, yeah, I'm recording. I couldn't tell what I was doing. I think it's ready. We're going to get her out and see. So, my gloves are, they're both a right-hand glove. What about that? Let's see if she's gonna, if it sticks, it'll be the first one I've ever had to stick, especially after putting that much stuff on it. Let's see what we got here. And to test if it's going to stick. Yeah, it ain't going to stick a little bit. It might stick a little bit in the middle, though. I've had them do that. You might have to, yeah, this is trying to stick just a dab. But just go around it and start knocking it loose. There we go. She'll not stick now, honey. Let me put this over here out of the way. Get my glove back on. Dump my whittle cake. Get right here to right there. That over here. And now let me lower my camera a little bit so you can And then I'm gonna roll her up. And roll it as tight as you can. You know, you don't want it to be loose. You want it to roll good and tight. I mean, don't tear your cake up or nothing. Just get it going good. And then there it is. And it's ready to cool. You can't put your icing on it till it's cool. It just make a runny bad mess. And lay it down on that there. And it's cold outside. I'm gonna go set it on a rack on the porch and see if I can get it to cool quicker. And then I'm gonna get another one in the oven and stuff and get them going here and bake as many as I can and put them up for Thanksgiving and whatnot. And I'll be back and we'll get the icing on this one, get it rolled up, and I'll show you what we got. All right. Thank you, guys. Guys, I made that big pan full and I want to show it to you. Get my both oven mitts on. And I've done loosened it. It actually didn't need loosened. I've got cockeyed in the pan. And I've got a big dish towel out here this time. And I'm going to dump her on there. Well, I could have probably done that 100 different ways and done better than that. But anywho, let me get my pan off there. Oh, had a little dab stick here in the middle. Just shake it out. Now, I wouldn't have thought that piece that piece a little bit thinner than the rest, but it don't matter nary bit. And it goes right there. It'll roll up, you'll never know. And I want to show you how we're going to do this one, because now that pan's a lot bigger than that other pan. And instead of rolling it long ways, because it's good and big and wide, I'm going to roll it this way. Well, I probably ought to start on this side. And then let's get her going. It's a little bit harder to roll because it's longer. But once I get it past that initial roll, it'll roll good. There we go. That might be a little thinner than what I want. So I think I will still roll it the other way. Anyhow, even though it's going to be a bigger one, we ain't going to worry about it. We're going to roll her up and go on the bad selves. And now what I done when I made this one was, because it was a bigger pan, I added about, I would say, 2 more tablespoons, heaping tablespoons of flour, probably a ant. Still ain't got rid of the ants. I've been trying. Probably 1/8 of a teaspoon more of cinnamon, and 1/8 of a teaspoon more of cloves, and I added about 2 more heaping tablespoons of pumpkin, and to make it a little bit bigger for that bigger pan. So I'm going to take this one out, and the other one's about cool enough to get in here, and because I felt of it while I was waiting on this one to bake, just about cool enough to bring in and get the filling in on it. I'll be back. Thank you. Okay, kids, this one's cool. Here it is. Now let's unroll it. Let's see, it unrolls this way. It don't matter as long as it unrolls. It's still a little bit warm, but I don't know if I think it'll be alright. I don't think it's so warm that I can't get it done. It is seriously just, I mean, a hint of warmth. Now let's get our middle in it here. I could have had this done right here, but I didn't. Never thought of it. But it'd be alright. Okay. We'll just lay it right there because we're going to need it again. I got that big one to do. Mix up everything for. Then you see it here. Now let's get it spread on there. And now that big one was, I don't know if I told you or not, I've done forgot. It was self-rising flour, so it didn't need the baking powder, baking soda, just extra, the salt, whatnot. It didn't need none of that. And you see that there was no difference in the thickness of the cake and yeah, I had that little rip in the center, but that didn't have anything to do with it being self-rising flour. That was me getting it out of the oven maybe 1 minute too soon. Is what I think caused that. I ain't even tasted this. Never even thought of it. Wow. And that, a little bit in there, but it's going to squirt out the side. If you get too much on it, it's got to go somewhere. It can't roll with it. So let's roll her up now. I got it empty. Now let's roll her up. You don't want to roll the towel up in it now. You want to just roll the, oh, it's definitely, I put too much in it, but like I said, it don't matter. It'll squirt out. This could have been quite a bit firmer. But I microwaved it to melt it, and I guess it takes a little longer to cool off. I might even change it a little bit where it can't go back the way it was, but I doubt it. I'd say it's just a matter of I got it too warm, and it needs to go. This was just, like I said, just barely, but barely's barely now, room temperature, so it had just a tad of heat with it. And now we are going to get her in the fridge and let her cool good. I was getting this extra off so it don't. And then we will get it out and find my saran wrap. Get every little drop of that on there that we can. And I'm going to ease it right off there. There we go. We're done with that. Get our saran wrap and wrap her up. Oh, that's my ripping thing. Here it is. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I tell you what, I never could do much of this stuff. Got to shut the lid on it, probably. There it comes. Finally. Tear it off. Any which way I can, actually. have time with this stuff. I always have. They really should invent something for people like me that can't use stuff that regular folk can use. All right, that's good enough. Straighten it out. Let's wrap it up this way. It don't make a bit of difference as long as it's wrapped. Alright, I'll give mine a little twist like it right there. And there she is, and it's going in the fridge. And when it is firmed up a couple hours, I'll get it out and cut it and show you what we got there. And then you can, like I said, after it cools and you got it the way you want it, like this right here, you can wrap it. Now I could wrap this in aluminum foil, stick it straight in the freezer. But I want to show you this. Cut the ends off and show it to you. Thank you. Well, let me put it in there. I'm already headed that way. And I've got that big one outside on the porch. It's got its turn to cool off, and I'm going to mix up some more mixture for it, and then I'm probably going to bake 2 or 3 more of them here tonight and just go ahead and try to knock them out. All right, thank you. Hey guys, I finally got one cool enough to cut. This is that first one. And let's cut it and see what we've got here. And hope it's okay, because I've not made one in here. I only make them at Thanksgiving and Christmas. They're so good, anybody ought to make them more often, but I just don't. Never have. They're a Christmas and they're a Thanksgiving and Christmas treat, and that's that. Now, just to make it easier on me to handle it, I'm going to go ahead and shake some powdered sugar on it so it don't stick to me so bad. Now let me roll it a little dab here. And shake this side. It kind of helps with that. And I didn't leave it in there long enough. I mean, it's cool enough to cut, but it's not. I would have, if it'd been for Christmas or Thanksgiving or something, I would have let it gotten, you know, a lot more firm. But anyway, let's cut it here and see what we got. About enough, y'all. Alright, we got one here. Let me turn it around so you can see what it looks like before it's cut. Them ends are not pretty, but you cut them ends off. That knife is not the one I need to be using. Isn't that beautiful? And here's the end. And if you were gonna, it's still not ready for me to handle it. If it's firmer, I'd feel better about it. Let me show you here. Get it where I can handle it better. Thought there's something on my plate, but there's not. Isn't it pretty? Then you would put it on a pretty plate. Get this out of the way over here. Let me wipe my hands off just a dab. I can't hardly stand it. All right, you get it on a beautiful plate, or a pretty plate, or an ugly plate. It don't matter. Paper plate, because this is good. Nobody cares what it's served on. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? Then you just cut your slices. And I think I'll go ahead and do that. I'll just cover it all up and it can finish firming up in the fridge. Now this stuff is so rich that I ain't liking that knife at all. I personally don't like big pieces because, I mean, it's rich, but let me see if I can find it. I bet you that tomato knife would cut it, and the tomato knife's delicate, but so is this. This ain't gonna hurt my knife, and my knife ain't gonna hurt it. Yeah, that's better. And then you just cut your slices, and most people cut them thicker than this. But like I said, it's just so rich, I don't. I cut it a little bit thicker. And there it is. And it's so beautiful. I mean, it really is. It's a lovely dessert. That's where it's just not firm enough yet. It just wasn't ready to be handled. It's not had a chance to get cold enough. But then, let's shake a little bit more. The sugar on it. And in my mind, it's magnificent. I absolutely just love it. And it's not just beautiful, it's crazy outstanding. And here is our beautiful pumpkin roll ready to be served. And I appreciate y'all listening to me and watching and letting me come into your homes. And give it a try. If you've never made one, there are all the mysteries took out of it. And it's delicious. I know you can buy them in the store, but the ones in the store they're 100% different. They're not this. This is fabulous. I've never met anybody that didn't just love it. Like, I'm not a big pumpkin fan, but this is a whole new level up, so I love it. Because you're not focusing on any one ingredient, like pumpkin pie or something. It just all comes together and it's scrumptious. But I thank yous. And until next time, thank you. And I made one of these tonight for James's, well, mine and James's good friend Jake. Him and his wife Vanessa Cushman are our best friends, and this is what Jake requested for his birthday. So Jake, I've got yours. Thank you.